Welcome to Spotlight on St. John's. I'm your host, Brian Brown. St. John's University is a unique Catholic and Vincentian institution of education, and St. John's is on a mission to ensure student success. Today I had a chance to sit down with Dr. Norean Sharpe, Dean of the Peter J. Tobin College of Business here at St. John's. Dean Sharpe leads Tobin, where students are provided with an experiential business education that prepares them for successful careers in business and beyond. Let's watch. Dean Sharpe, thank you for stepping into the spotlight. You're 4 years into your position here as Dean of the Peter J. Tobin College of Business at St. John's. How's it going so far?
Well, thanks for asking. As you know, it's been an exciting 4 years, Brian. As you may remember, my second year here, we moved into a brand new building.
Beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's won architectural awards. It's state-of-the-art classrooms, meeting rooms, breakout rooms, faculty offices, an incubator space on the first floor, the Collins Financial Markets Lab on the first floor. We have the Paul Evanson Career Services Center dedicated to business students, both undergraduate and graduate students. The wonderful thing about housing the business students, faculty, and staff in one building is that it builds a real sense of community. And we see that firsthand. So that has been a joy to witness.
Right.
The students, the faculty, the staff really coming together as a unit, as a community. And so I have to begin with that. It's been an absolute joy. In terms of goals and objectives, we aligned our strategic goals with the president's. So we work very hard at ensuring student success, student experience, and so what does that look like? It means we have been busy with the faculty, collaborating to create new curricular and co-curricular opportunities for our students. We've been working hard on improving the learning environment. I've been focused on faculty retention, faculty recognition. What does that entail? It means I've been actively fundraising to provide funding for faculty research, faculty course reductions, faculty travel, and new endowed professorships and chairs for faculty. And finally, fourth, we've been focused on corporate and global partnerships. So we've been working with local firms such as Protiviti, Synchrony, Deloitte, BNY Mellon, KPMG, EY. And this helps provide internships for our students and ultimately leads to full-time employment for both our undergraduates and graduate students.
Quite a lot on the portfolio. We're going to get into many of the things that you referenced, but just hearing you describe all that, the role of a dean is so multifaceted, multi-layered, interacting with faculty, interacting with corporate businesses, dealing with students, fundraising. What have you learned on the job?
Great question. I have to say, I've been an academic for over 30 years.
Could you speak to that?
And sure. So I taught at Babson for 15 years. I was department chair. I was director of institutional assessment while I was there. I ended up joining the team at Georgetown as senior associate dean, running the undergraduate business program. So I gained an immense amount of experience in how to work with faculty, how to fundraise, how to develop relationships with donors, corporate partners, developing global programs. Brought that wealth of experience with me here to Tobin, and I tell you, I needed every bit of it. It's tough. It's a tough job, and I know, as you've spoken with other deans, they've told you the same thing. We have probably 5 different constituencies. We have the students, we have the faculty, we have the staff and administrators, we have the board members and donors,
alumni.
We have the alumni, and finally we have the parents.
Yes.
And when we have an undergraduate population, we can't forget about the parents. So I think that's 5 or 6 different constituencies. They're all important. I need to pay attention to every single one. So it's a long day, right? It's a long day, it's a long week. But look, people who are academics, lifelong academics, and then end up going into administration, and most of us certainly do not aspire to this role. I know I did not. We end up here usually by happenstance. But what we do like is challenges. So what drew me to St. John's, I'll give you a few things. One was I wanted I wanted a challenge.
Sure.
And I also liked the mission-based, faith-based education at St. John's. I like the fact that it's in a metropolitan area with a wealth of opportunities in terms of corporate partnerships, in terms of finding employment for the students, in terms of connecting with other schools and other programs. As you know, we also have a Manhattan campus.
Yes, we do.
So that also drew me to St. John's. We also have a campus in Staten Island, and we have a campus in Rome, Italy, where we have some business programs. So the complexity and the multiple locations also drew me to St. John's.
So you're in the financial capital of the world, you're in New York City, but as we know, St. John's is a global university. We attract tremendous amount of student diversity, particularly here at Tobin, so there's a lot going on. Could you tell me what differentiates Tobin from other business schools?
Sure. So first, you alluded to diversity. St. John's, I believe, is one of the most diverse private universities in the United States.
Correct.
I believe it's one of the top
Yeah.
20, 25 most diverse private institutions in the U.S. At the Tobin, we have approximately a third of our students are Pell eligible. So when I talk about diversity, I'm not just talking about ethnic diversity, I'm talking about socioeconomic diversity. So approximately a third of our students are from underrepresented populations. Approximately 1/3 of our students are also Pell eligible. We give out an enormous amount of financial aid at the university level, also at the college level. We have scholarships both at the undergraduate level and for MBAs and master's students, because our donors specifically earmark certain scholarship funds for graduate students. I think that the diversity in and of itself in the classroom provides an incredible, rich, and diverse learning environment. And I know in talking to faculty enjoy it.
Right.
When I recruit faculty from other schools and other institutions, and I ask them what attracts you to Tobin, they tell me the diversity of the student population. They also talk about location, of course.
Sure.
You mentioned New York, financial capital of the world. I mentioned a few of our corporate partners at the beginning of the interview.
Right.
It makes it easier for us. We have many of our students will work part-time.
Right.
In fact, nearly all of our MBA students also carry on a job. The vast majority of them work while attending the program. The only MBA program we have is an evening MBA. The classes are evening
Sure.
courses. They take them either in Manhattan at our Manhattan campus or out here in Queens. And we find that works for students who are working during the day on Wall Street perhaps, or in Midtown,
Right.
can then attend classes in the evening. We also now are running MBA courses on Saturdays, both in Queens and in Manhattan, that we also find that works
Sure.
for the working
Meet
population.
students where they are.
Correct, exactly. Trying to figure out what the students are demanding, what they're looking for, what they need in their lives. We've also started an online MBA program that has really grown, I think, grown threefold in the past 4 years. And so we're trying to stay ahead of the curve and follow the trends in higher education. As you know, more and more programs are going online. Undergraduate population's a different animal. We do have online courses. We don't have complete online programs, but we do have online courses for students who, for one reason or another, they may be traveling, they may be working, may want some online courses in a semester. So there are lots is happening
Right.
at Tobin.
And you have a wide array of course offerings in the business field. Could you speak to some of those?
Sure. We run, I believe, the 6 or 7 fairly standard majors at the undergraduate level. We have marketing, strategic management, we have finance, we have accounting. Then we have some less typical majors. We just added a new major in business analytics. We have a major in risk management and insurance. In fact, we were just ranked number 11 by U.S. News and World Report in the United States for our
Excellent.
bachelor's degree in risk management and insurance. We also run an undergraduate degree in actuarial science. So we have offerings, I believe, that will suit many students' needs. At the graduate level is where we have really become more innovative and expanded our offerings. I mentioned the evening MBA, we have the online MBA. We have a master's in enterprise risk management, which is growing in popularity. We have a master's in risk and financial advisory, which speaks to auditing and compliance. We have a master's in accounting. We have a master's in risk and risk management and risk analytics. We have a master's in entrepreneurship and innovation, and we have a master's in taxation, and we have a master's in finance. And in the finance, we have multiple tracks, one of which is fintech, which has really experienced an increase in interest.
Could you explain
lately.
fintech for the layperson?
So, sure, think about Bitcoin.
Okay.
Think about cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrencies.
Think about blockchain. Any new technology, think about financial derivatives.
Right.
Any new analytical, technological innovation that's happening in the financial space. And so in the Master's in Finance, a student can focus on either fintech or investment analysis or corporate finance, so they can customize their master's program. We have seen a huge uptick in the number of students who are interested in the one-year master's programs. There are 30 credits.
Wow.
And student, if they were to attend full-time, a Master's of Science program could theoretically complete the program in 1 year. Many of our students, as I mentioned, also work part-time, so they may take 1.5 to 2 years to complete the program. But we have seen a rise in the one-year master's programs.
That's the Fasttrack programs, right? Where students, can they start as an undergrad and start taking some graduate?
Sure. So for the master's, for the one-year master's program, we take external applicants,
Right.
and those would be regular applicants who can apply from other schools once they obtain their baccalaureate. We also have fast-track programs. These are particular or specific to St. John's students. In that case, our St. John's student would apply at the end of their junior year for any of our master's programs, including the MBA, face-to-face or online.
Right.
And they're accepted based on their grade, their GPA here at the school. If they're accepted during that summer, before their senior year, they would then begin their graduate studies their senior year, and they can take anywhere from 6 to 12 credits their senior year, double count the degrees according to New York State, to their undergraduate and graduate program. What makes those programs so attractive, of course, is that they save time and money for the students.
Exactly.
Those fast-track students have grown 300%
No kidding.
in 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. We started with, I think, less than 50 students. We now have over 250 students this year
Wow.
as seniors who are currently enrolled in both an undergraduate and a graduate program. So it streamlines your course of study.
Right.
It saves them time and money. And by the way, as we know, in today's economy, cost of an education has become the number one deciding variable
Absolutely.
for students
Absolutely.
on whether or not they attend college or graduate school and where they attend.
Now, that is an important point that you raised. Another important factor is outcomes. Could you
Yes.
speak to some of the outcomes of Tobin graduates in terms of
Sure.
career placement? Where do they go
Sure.
on to serve?
Sure, absolutely. We just achieved our highest starting salary ever for the graduating class this past May.
Wonderful.
The average starting salary was approximately $63,000,
Excellent.
up from $59,000 in just 1 year. So
Wonderful.
we're extremely pleased by that. Percentage of our students having at least one internship before they graduate is now over 81%. Of course, we're striving to get that number over 90, but just a few years ago it was in the 60s. So we're extremely proud of the fact that over 81% of our students now have at least one internship. And by the way, many of our students will have 2 or 3 internships
Sure.
before they graduate. Over 80% of our students are employed or in graduate school within 3 months of graduation, so that really means by September 1st. The rest then are employed in September, or they're switching jobs,
Right.
or many of our students actually are seeking a second graduate degree,
Sure.
or a graduate degree after achieving their baccalaureate. So everything's
Trending upward.
in the right direction. I'll say a little bit about, so that's outcomes, that's
Right.
output. Say a little bit about the academic metrics coming in. Our average SAT score has jumped 50 points in 2 years. This past year, the score jumped 25 points
Wow.
from just a year ago for this entering class that just started at Tobin this past September.
Excellent.
So why? We have the building, we have amazing faculty in the classroom because we put a very high priority on teaching at St. John's.
Right.
We believe in the teacher-scholar model. So faculty not only need to conduct top-tier research and publish in top-tier journals, they also need to succeed in the classroom. Very important to us here at Tobin
And
St. John's.
under your tenure, you brought in many new faculty.
Absolutely, and I explained to all of them that teaching is every bit as important as scholarship. And so students come for the faculty.
Right.
Our faculty are very engaged. They're involved in the open houses, in the Accepted Students Day. We have faculty reaching out to students once they're accepted. I ask the department chairs to all send letters and reach out to the students. So they come for the building. It's a beautiful new building, facilities. They come for the faculty. They come for St. John's for, quite frankly, the faith-based mission of St. John's is very important to many of our students because they believe in service, they believe in giving back, as does Tobin, as does St. John's. So we have many, I think, ways that we can attract the top-notch students. I would add to that, we just launched a new Tobin Dean Scholars Program this past year with the help of a generous donor,
Sure.
Thomas Cox. We were hoping, and
What is that? What is a Tobin Scholar?
So the way students are invited, so I personally invite applicants to Tobin to join the Tobin Scholars Program. And so they're admitted to the program when they're admitted to St. John's. And they have to have a minimum joint SAT score over a certain level. So we're talking about the top-notch applicants. We were hoping for 25 first-year students. We have nearly 40
Wow.
first-year Dean Scholars this year. And I can tell you anecdotally, ad hoc stories. I just took the scholars to Thanksgiving lunch the week before break
Very nice.
over here on campus. And in meeting with the students, so what does the scholar entail? It's wonderful to see because they're forming a sense of community.
Right.
They live together in residence halls
Sure.
as a cohort. They go through their core curriculum as a cohort. And then I subsidize a global trip for them. And it's interesting, right now they're voting on where to travel. So the director of the Scholars Program, Professor Niall Haggerty, who's
Great guy.
amazing,
Great guy.
fantastic faculty
Yeah.
member, has been taking a poll on where would you like to
Okay.
go. And he was giving them the choice of Dublin, Paris. Well, we have a campus in Paris, a campus in Rome.
Yeah.
We've had successful programs in both Dublin
Right.
and Barcelona with our partner institutions.
Sure.
And so they're all having excitement voting on
Right.
where they'd like their global trip to be. But the advantage of me subsidizing their global trip is that we believe in a global experience for all students,
Right.
regardless of the socioeconomic level that you are before you come into Tobin.
Right.
So I think that that's very important. And in having lunch with the students a few weeks ago and chatting with them, almost all of them said this program made a difference. It made a difference in them choosing Tobin and choosing St. John's.
Excellent.
And they told me stories that they turned down schools like Villanova, like Brown, like Boston College, to come to Tobin. So as this goes back to my earlier comment, that price is important. The
New York City.
mission of the school is important, and it goes back to our mission of service.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And New York City is a great location to come and learn and practice the art of business.
Sure, absolutely.
We have a lot of innovative programs here at Tobin. Could you speak to some of the student experiences outside of the classroom, whether it's part of Globe, whether it's part of the investment funds?
Sure. So in addition to the Tobin's Scholars Program, we launched 3 years ago the Tobin CEO Seminar Series. This was launched to really be an extracurricular benefit for our graduate students. We felt that we needed to do more for our graduate students to connect them to the local business community. So we actually are hosting our 10th Tobin CEO Seminar tomorrow evening, and we have the CEO of Tiger Risk Partners, a well-known insurance firm, speaking with us tomorrow evening. We have had Ken Langone, former founder of Home Depot.
Right.
We have had Kathy Engelbert, former CEO of Deloitte, in fact the first female CEO of any of the top 4 accounting firms. And we've had other CEOs and CFOs from local firms come and speak to the students. And we feel that this provides a good connection between our graduate students and sometimes alumni. In fact, we had a recent CEO at Goldman Sachs come and speak to the students in the spring. And that was very popular, as you can imagine, with the students,
sure.
and they had lots of questions for him. So there's the Tobin CEO seminar series, and we invite not only graduate students, but all of our faculty. We usually get about 35 faculty attending. Again, a good interaction with our graduate students. And then we invite the young alumni, those alumni who've graduated within the last 10 years, to try to reconnect and bring the young alumni back to campus. Other programs, extracurricular programs. You mentioned the Student Management Investment Fund.
Right.
This is directed by Dr. Michael Bergbrandt, one of our esteemed finance faculty, and he leads a group of undergraduate students and graduate students in portfolio analysis. They actually have a portion of the St. John's endowment.
It's real money.
It's
not
real
pretend
money.
Right?
Well, it's real money, yes. They make recommendations to the Board of Trustees.
Right.
Now, 9 times out of 10, I will tell you the Board of Trustees takes their recommendations.
Excellent.
They actually report out to the Finance Committee on the Board of Trustees and their portfolio recommendations on the investments, what stocks should be sold, what stocks should be bought.
Right.
So that's an incredible opportunity, and students need to go through an application process for that. We have GLOBE, which is a program for students who are interested in both an international experience and an entrepreneurial experience, and that focuses on micro-lending, microfinancing. Our associate dean, Dr. Linda Sama, has been directing that program for a very long time. She's terrific.
Yes.
And she not only leads the students here on campus, but then she takes them abroad to either Central America, South America, or Africa. Typically she's working with the Daughters of Charity,
Right.
and she works on identifying women firms, small startups,
Right.
that need a boost, some seed money to launch their venture. And that's a very popular
And it's
program.
not just a matter of sending a check. They can
No,
actually
they
go and visit the
yes.
site and learn more. It's-
Absolutely,
yeah, which is a
absolutely. They're
critical-
involved in every step of the
Yeah,
process.
it's a great learning experience.
It's a fabulous learning experience. Then we launched our Applied Finance Institute. This was launched by Dr. Anna Martin, an esteemed finance faculty member. And the purpose of this program was to connect finance majors closer to faculty doing research. So it was to involve undergraduates and graduate students studying finance to actually be conducting research and scholarship with finance faculty, get more involved in actual scholarship. She also brings finance executives to campus to speak, finance scholars to speak to the students, and also has faculty give monthly scholarship lectures and updates to the students. So it really is raising, I would say, the bar in terms of scholarship for the students, for the finance students
Right.
specifically. Then we have our global destination courses, and we run maybe 8 to 10 global destination courses each year. These are courses that are specifically linked to each major. They're 3-credit courses that take place here on campus, and then the faculty travel with the students abroad for anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks, depending on the program. For example, our management majors travel to Athens, Greece with Professor Angelidis. Our marketing majors can travel to Barcelona with Professor Joan Ball, or they can travel, we've had marketing majors, in addition to going to Barcelona with Professor Ball. They have just recently returned from a trip to Lima, Peru with Professor Iris Moore. They have also traveled with Professor Ryle Carroll to Dublin in the past. They have also traveled with Professor Moore to Paris, focusing on fashion and design. Our accounting majors have traveled to Dublin. They've traveled to Rome. Our finance majors each year travel to London to spend a week studying the financial markets in London.
So, and it's great opportunities because, business is so global, and we're bringing the students out into the world and these unlimited learning opportunities with faculty who are well connected in their field.
Right.
That's wonderful
Right.
stuff.
Right.
So, to conclude, make the case for why a high school student should come to St. John's, and particularly come to Tobin.
Sure. We offer a well-rounded education. We are small enough. We have about 2,500 undergraduate business students. I mentioned our new building, our sense of community. So we're small enough that there is a real faculty-student interaction that takes place as part of the education. Our faculty care deeply about their students. They're dedicated to the students. We put teaching on an equal footing with scholarship. We believe in giving back. We believe in the mission of the school, the Vincentian mission, which is service. And we believe that that helps educate a well-rounded citizen. We also are global. We have multiple global opportunities for our students. We run 8 to 10 global destination courses each year, providing opportunities for our students to visit really the financial capitals of the world.
Well said, Dean Sharpe. Thank you for everything you do here at
Thank you.
Tobin and at St. John's.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.